Good morning, traders. Today is Thursday, December 9th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. Sorry, I'm running a bit late this morning, so I got to kind of do my analysis on the fly. It would appear that the market is stuck in a range here. We're balancing off, which makes sense, right? We created a lot of excess, and as I discussed yesterday, excess leads to balance. One way that the market can balance off that excess Sorry, just getting myself situated. One way the market can balance off that excess is by going sideways at higher prices and letting time balance off the excess. So at the moment, that appears to be what is in play here today. We are opening inside the previous day's range, inside the previous day's value area, which was also the previous day's range and value area the day before. So the likelihood of chop here early this morning is good. We're probably going to get a lot of up and down action like we did yesterday. But a breakout, it's like a spring that's getting, tighter and tighter and tighter. When we do eventually break out of this range, we should break out with some force. So, I would say we can almost kind of treat this node right here as the area that we're stuck in. So I would say get above 46.96. Find some support there. You could get a big push higher. Or get below essentially yesterday's low. Come back up and find some resistance. You get a big push lower. But in the middle here, chop is probably in order. Quite a bit of grinding. I would say yesterday's action overall was bullish. We had value overlapping to higher, and we didn't really need to pull back very much. So that's bullish, that they never really needed to take the market lower. And that increases the odds that really the play for balancing off that excess is going to be time moving sideways. The overnight last night was net short, so we would expect somewhat of a counter auction to the upside. But again, just chop. Because we're stuck right in this node of volume right here, it's going to be kind of hard to break out of it. There's just a lot of buyers and sellers doing business in this area. But once we do, we should get a push in one direction or the other. Cyrus, how much time consideration is the cumulative? It's the last 30 trading days. TV, nope, still sick as a dog. Took a COVID test yesterday. I got to wait 2 days for the result. Good morning, Sanju, Scooball, Nor Auto Trader, Diego, Cyrus, David Glass, Nicholas, Rocket, big money waiting for the CPI on Friday? Could be. That the bigger money stepped aside. We had pretty low volume yesterday across the board. Philip, good morning to you. Arthur, good morning. Stephen, Amir, Jose. Good morning to all of you. Cotton Dog, don't diddle in the middle. You guys know me. I don't trade the chop. I let them do what they're going to do. It's too unpredictable. But there are those, particularly scalpers, who do very well in this environment. All right, so we're getting some counter auction here, absorbing some of that overnight activity. Alan, good morning to you. Alan, I'm hoping for a long today to shift for tomorrow. Not sure what that means. I thought the contract rollover was tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow's the official rollover. And most the volume really rolls over the next day, I've found. Okay, we got a level here right at the halfback with only 118 contracts. That's likely to need to be backfilled. But at the moment, it looks like that first push was sort of the counter auction. And this could be new buyers stepping in here. So if they don't need to backfill this level, that will be a when what should happens doesn't. But the higher probability is the market needs to come back down there and backfill it. Nunez, or are they entering blind, hoping to catch 2 ticks or something? If you're talking about scalpers, no. See, they can't. A real scalper can't enter blind. They can't just guess because they have to take generally at least a point of risk. So if their target is like 2 ticks, then they're risking 4 ticks. And so if they're just randomly guessing, they're going to lose so much money so quickly. So they have to be right like 70-80% of the time. So they definitely have to have some kind of edge as to when to enter their trades. But some people just have a skill for that. Obviously, they're not looking at 30-minute, charts or profiles. They're looking at 1-minute candles, 30-second candles, and they've got some kind of an edge in that super quick time frame. Arthur, how does the contract rollover work? Do you have to sell them and buy a new one? Yeah. So let's say you're holding a long contract in the ES. Like, I don't know why you would use it to hold for that long, and you wanted to hold it like for the rest of the month. On the 18th, you would have to close out on this contract and open on the next one. It happens every 3 months. And the term for that is rolling it over. And Q looks bullish. Let's take a look. Yeah, it does. I mean, it looks very similar to the ES in the fact that it's just rotating to absorb the excess down here, but this morning's trade is a little more bullish. Had a straight counter auction to the upside, which is now finding support at a higher level, so that's pretty bullish. Keep note of that level 16,432. If they break above that, they could be heading higher. All right, that's the balancing area high. But there are 3 sets of resistance above between there and the all-time high. The single prints at 455, 603, and 639. But I would say if we get above that balancing area high and find support, that will be a great long trade for continuation. Back to the ES. Cotton dog. All right, and we have the putter here at 46.91. Everyone be real quiet. All right, well, looks like we're heading back down to backfill that level around halfback that needs some more volume. Only has 118 contracts right there at 46.88. Give the buyers a chance to step in. TV, you haven't heard any Santa Claus rally talk this year. Man, I've heard so much of it. I've heard it more this year than ever before. Lahab, no, I'm not in a position. I don't trade the morning chop until I have certainty of a direction. So until this banner turns green, red, or says rotational, I'm just sitting on my hands observing the market. Cotton dog, yeah, I am actually. Thank you for bringing it up. Yeah, so I can tell everybody I'm taking the week off. Let's like before Christmas. Yeah, so the 20th to the 24th. I'm going home for that, so I won't have good internet access for that week. I'll still be posting in the Discord and on Twitter and stuff like that, but I won't be able to do live streams. All right, well, the buyers are stepping in here. So again, in a when what should happen doesn't. If we should have come back to test this level, and we aren't, it shows new buyers are stepping in here. So that's a little bit bullish to see. Also looks like we're grinding our way through that 20 moving average on the 15-minute candles. Harry, when to roll over a contract? So it's up to you. It doesn't really matter when you roll over. It's just that once you do, you want to make sure you're looking at the same chart. Okay, so it looks like we are going to need to backfill that level. Once you roll over with whatever contract you're trading with, you just want to make sure you're looking at the same chart. That's all that really matters, right? It doesn't really matter when you roll over. The official rollover date is tomorrow, but I will probably wait till Monday because there tends to be a little bit more volume that rolls over the day after the official rollover day. So I'll just wait that one extra day and roll over on Monday. But it doesn't matter. You can roll over right now if you want. All right. Well, they didn't bring in the buyers, so the chop will continue. Where is home? Well, I don't have a home, Rocket. I've lived all over the place. I really genuinely don't have a place I call home, but my mom lives in Wisconsin. That's where I'll be going. I just mean I'm going to my mom's house, not to any place. I've never lived there, so I have no connection with it. But she lives out in the boonies, and so the only internet she has is satellite, so it's impossible to live stream. Cotton Dog, you also can't get a phone signal from anyone other than U.S. Cellular. Arthur, am I a gypsy? It feels that way sometimes. Peter, I looked into Starlink. It's only so the satellite internet that she has now is like 100 megabytes or whatever it is, and that one's only like 150 or something. It's not that much better, um, but it costs a fortune. It costs way more because there's like a huge setup fee, like a $500 setup fee. So it just isn't worth it. And to be fair, when I'm not there, she doesn't use the internet. She just checks email. That's about it. Okay, so again, a true breakout to one side or another, I think, would have to get below yesterday's low. But we could look for, if they do push lower, look for a repair of that weak F period low, and then see if they bring in some support around there. But I wouldn't really get bearish till we got below yesterday's low. Otherwise, it's just more uncertainty. It's just more chop. Like I said, when you get this much excess, if you're going to balance it off with time, sometimes it takes days. That's your excess. So do you balance it off with time or with price? Always what you're asking yourself whenever you see that much excess. Both are tradable. You can trade rotation. Bitcoin fell. Oh boy. The corn is in decline. Yep, making a new low. I'm looking at a 15-minute chart. Hold on. Oh, no, it's fine. I wouldn't get real worried about the corn unless it gets below 60, 46, 46.5. Samuel, what is excess? All the regulars are going to be so disappointed you asked that question. I talk about this so much. But the market is constantly going through a two-way auction process. And the way that that works is there's two sort of modes that the market gets itself in. Either most of the participants agree it's going a certain direction, or there's uncertainty, right? And so like half the people think it's going to go up and half think it's going to go down. And they're kind of just betting each other. They're what Jim Dalton calls picking each other's pockets. So excess is when you get a big push all in one direction all at once, right? And that's what happens is like the market was stuck in this balancing area. This channel was a balance, right? The market was betting each other, going to go up, going to go down, going to go up, going to go down. And when they finally broke out of it, balance leads to excess. So when we finally broke out of this range we'd been stuck in, we got a big push higher, and that's excess, right? But then once you create excess, excess then leads to balance. So the market needs to balance it off. So it can either, sometimes it just, the price pulls right back, it finds support, and then it continues higher from there. And so you balance off the excess using price, or you can do it with time, where you create excess, you create excess, and then you just kind of rotate sideways until you're ready to break out of that new balancing area that you're creating to either the upside or downside. All right, well, whilst we're still just experiencing chop, it's actually kind of bullish in my mind. We're starting to roll back over to the upside on the breadth. We're trending higher on the ticks and the advancers versus decliners. And that wasn't really that intense of a drawdown there in the A period. I would have liked to have seen more than 25 contracts at the low. But all in all, it looks like they're trying to build up steam to push higher. They just weren't ready yet this morning. So it's worth keeping a close eye on this node right here, around 85-ish. If we pull back into there, does that act as support this time? Do the ticks get back above the zero line when we get to there? Same thing with this node of resistance right here around 91. If we can get above it, when we come back down, does it start to act as support? If so, that'd be good for some continuation higher. Not sure how far, but some. Certainly. Laser Eye, what's your breath indicator's name? VOLD. Looks like we still got pretty low volume here today as well. John Q, I'm working on an indicator that will help with your emotions. How so? You mean like a fear index type of indicator? All right, Rocket. Congrats, brother. We'll see you next time. Bow, bow. But talking about like future technologies and the metaverse and stuff like that, I wonder if in the future traders will wear like an Apple Watch that's like tracking, you know, their heartbeat and their blood pressure and everything else, and then like when their emotions start to kick in, it like gives them a signal like, whoa, 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 you're freaking out, you're feeling panic, don't take a trade or whatever. Like if there'll be some little edge that could exist from monitoring your heartbeat and stuff. All right, so now as we push down, let's see if this area around 85 can act as support. If we get the ticks are above zero now, but if we can get a push on the ticks when we get there. Salmon River. Yeah, simpler trading. His account does keep going up by so much every year. I wonder why. Oh yeah, because he takes the money that people pay him and he puts it in his account. So NQ wants to one time frame down. Let's take a look. Yeah, but their ticks are still trending up. I think it's just rotation. I think it's just chop. It's that 50-50 mode where half the traders think it's going to go up and half think it's going to go down, and they're just picking each other's pockets. This area here will be really good support. So let's see if that holds. Cotton Dog, regarding today's potential range, is there any reason to believe today's range will be different than yesterday's? Tighter? Um, it's a tough question to answer. One would assume if we're just balancing, it will be very similar. We may need to go above or below to kind of explore those prices, just dip below, get some excess to the downside, then we pull back in or above as well. Head up, try to test that previous balancing area high like they did in this overnight, and then look above and fail, come back in. So I don't know about the exactness of yesterday's range, but I certainly have no problem with the market spending the day going sideways, as that would be balancing off, the excess. Nicholas, like button time. Thank you, sir. 44 likes, 124 people here. You're hanging out. The market is chopping. It's tough to take a trade anyway. You've got some time. Push that thumbs up button. Show the pirate some love. Laser Eye, are you using the volume daily as breadth indicator? No, I'm not. No, the breadth doesn't. It doesn't have to do, I don't think, with volume. I'd have to look it up. To be honest with you, I can never remember what's the specific difference between these internals. Um, I honestly can't remember. But the breadth is. I just call it the breadth. It's this VOLD, symbol, and that's just because that's what Shadow Trader calls it, who I learned it from. Um, do I look at daily volume? Yeah, I mean, kind of. Just to confirm, bigger moves happening on the daily. John, do I pay any attention to the VIX? No, not really. I have come around to the idea that I need to use it as an indicator for 2 tick or 1 tick increments on my market profile chart, but I don't watch it intraday at all. Trading donkey. Almost everything on the meme ETF is red today. So how are they going to do that? Are they constantly changing like what stocks they're invested in on a daily basis, or how do they even choose what's inside the ETF? I suppose I should just look it up rather than asking. Yeah, here it shows what's in there, but it doesn't show you how often they're gonna, or what was in there yesterday. But it doesn't show you how often they're gonna change it. Considering the fact that those meme stocks change daily, it seems like a money grab. Cotton Dog, that's essentially what it's supposed to be. The meme one is supposed to be an actively managed Wall Street Bets ETF. All right, well, any bullish momentum we had is clearly rolling over. So it looks like the market might need a little pullback here. So as I mentioned earlier with the Q, this little node of volume that we have from yesterday and the day before, that's your potential support there, the bottom end of the support. So if that fails, they most likely need to head back down towards yesterday's low to repair that week D period low. And then we look for support just below there. If that breaks as well, so if we get below yesterday's low on the NQ, come back up and find resistance, that is a good short because it might mean the market needs to pull back price a little bit to absorb some excess. You could probably look at the ES the exact same way. This weak reference we left behind in the F period, we get below that and repair it, come back up and find resistance around 79. That could be good for a continuation lower, heading down towards yesterday's low. With the loss of that uptrend that we had the uptrend in the advancers versus decliners and the ticks, but both are clearly breaking here. Suddenly the internals look a lot more bearish. The breadth is clearly bearish. The advancers versus decliners are below the zero line, and the ticks are having a really hard time getting back above the zero line. So that's kind of bearish from the internals. All right. Well, sorry I don't have any more insights on that. I mean, it still could go right now. It looks like it could either go down or sideways, and that's not really helpful. But that's the best I can do. They haven't quite convinced me we're going to have a sell-off yet, but there's certainly more bearishness in this market than there was just a few minutes ago. So they're starting to build momentum to the downside. With that, I shall bid you all farewell. And we will see you here tomorrow morning. Thank you guys very much. If you're in the Brigade, I shall see you on the private stream.